You can't buy love, but you can bake it into a cupcake. And that's what we're doing today. I'm Susan. Welcome to Weekend Cupcakes. Okay, let's dive right in. I made some of the cupcakes in the shape of a heart. When shaping cupcakes, I recommend using foil cupcake liners because they keep their shape much better than paper liners. I used tin foil to make the point and a glass marble to shape the top. I only put 2 tablespoons of batter in the liner, and this is what they looked like after baking. To begin with, the cupcakes are frozen, and I'm putting a thin layer of frosting on them, which will work as a crumb coat and seal in the freshness. Your crumb coat can be any color. Ideally, it should match the colors of your cupcake. I'm using green simply because I made way too much of it. Another nice thing about the crumb coat is it allows you to better define the final shape of your cupcake. As you can see, the baked cupcake is not exactly heart-shaped, but with the crumb coat, it really looks like a heart. Finally, you can use the crumb coat to carve out your design before piping. So for the first design, we'll start with white frosting with a Wilton 16 piping tip. I've marked out 3 hearts, and I'm going to pipe the center heart first. The entire design will be made up of little buttercream stars. Actually, I'm going to turn the cupcake around because I find it easier to pipe towards myself. By the way, this frosting was made with Wilton's white. So I'm going to follow the line and work my way around. When you're piping, you tend to focus on one spot at a time, so it's important to stop and look at the entire design. This is how you will see the areas that need tweaking. Now for the pink. Start by piping stars around the white heart. I made this pink with Wilton's rose pink, and I'm using a Wilton 14 piping tip. Now I'm going to do a second row. Once again, pick up your cupcake and look at it to make sure all the gaps are filled in. Last but not least, the red. Just work your way around the pink heart and fill out the rest of the cupcake. I got this vibrant red using Americolor's Super Red, and I'm using a Wilton 18 piping tip. Every so often, stop and look at your cupcake and make adjustments when needed. The great thing about using star tips is that you can do pretty much any design you want. For instance, you may want something a little less psychedelic. You can also do simple rows with the 3 different colors, or maybe try rosettes instead of stars, although your heart may look a bit more abstract. Speaking of abstract hearts, our next design will be a heart-shaped flower. I'm using the Wilton 104 petal tip with the red frosting, and we're basically going to put petals down each side of the cupcake. Make sure your bag is tight and not too full. Start in the center with the wide side of the tip on the cupcake. Pipe out towards the edge, then come right back down to the center. As I move towards the tip of the heart, I'm going to change the direction of the petals so the edge of the petals align with the edge of the cupcake. Now, if I were ambidextrous, I'd hold the bag in my left hand and pipe the same way I did on the right side. But I'm not, so I'm going to try something different. And I'm first going to test it out on my cutting board. So usually, when you use a 104 petal tip, you go out this way and come back down, like starting the letter O and finishing with the letter N. So what I want to try, for the first time ever, instead of holding my piping tip with the fat side down and the thin side up, I'm going to hold it with the fat side up and the thin side down. And instead of doing an O and an N, I'm going to do an O and a U. Like that. Let's try it and see if it works. I'm going to start by holding the cupcake upside down. There we go! Hey! Okay, let's keep going. This is working out better than I thought. To be honest, I like that side better than this one. Maybe I should pipe upside down more often. Okay, now I'm going to put some hearts in the middle. One big one at the top and some smaller white and pink ones down the center. The next cupcake is going to be triple flowers. First, I'm going to mark out the 3 areas for each flower with my Wilton 2D tip. It's a good idea to hold the cupcake directly facing you so you can see the entire surface. In order to elevate the flowers, I'm piping a ring around each circle. To save time, I'm using the pink frosting, which already had the Wilton round tip number 8 on it. It doesn't really matter what colors the rings are, because you won't see them in the end. Next, we're going to pipe the petals with the Wilton 104. Place the fat end of the tip on the cupcake right in the middle of the ring. Squeeze, pull up, do a little M motion, then come right back down. Turn the cupcake, place the tip slightly under the first petal, squeeze, pull up, make another M motion, and come back down. Just keep repeating this until you've gone all around. For the last petal, when you come back down, try not to touch the first petal. Let's tuck that in. There we go. Now clean your tip, tighten your bag, and start the second flower. And I'm actually going to start it by kind of going over the petal of the previous flower. Notice how I'm turning the cupcake after each petal, but my right hand is staying in the same position. This allows you to have more control and consistent precision with each petal. So we're going to do the same thing with the third flower. Next, I'll use a Wilton 10 with white frosting and pipe a dot in the center of each flower. So place your tip slightly above the flower, squeeze, let the frosting balloon out, stop squeezing, and do a little circle to come off. And because this is a Valentine's cupcake, I'm going to take a little pink heart and put it in the center of each flower. For the leaves, we're going to use green frosting with the Color Mill 353 tip, or you can also use the Wilton 366. And I made this green with Wilton's Kelly Green and a bit of moss green. When you're piping a leaf, you have to make sure the 2 tips are on the top and bottom. If you pipe this way, you're not going to get a leaf. Place your tip right in the open area between 2 flowers. Squeeze, let it balloon out, wiggle your tip back and forth as you slowly move away. When you get the size you want, stop squeezing and pull away. And there you have your triple flower Valentine cupcake. As a variation, you can play around with the colors. For instance, you can have pink flowers with red hearts. So for the next cupcake, I'm going to do a simple swirl. I have a Wilton 1M tip, and I filled my bag with 2 red lines, 2 pink lines, and white frosting down the center. Give the bag a good shake to make the light frosting drop further down. So place your tip on the edge of the cupcake. Start squeezing and work your way around the edge. When you come back to the beginning, move up and continue going around as you work your way towards the center. Then stop squeezing and pull away. I have a chocolate heart that I bought, and I'm just going to place it on top. Easiest cupcake ever. So for the next cupcake, I'm going to write the word love with some chocolate candy melts. Just put some candies in a microwave-safe bowl and heat them for 10 seconds at a time. Stir after each interval. When they're nearly melted, don't put them back in the microwave. Just keep stirring and let the residual heat melt them. Then put the melted candy in a piping bag. I wasn't sure what piping tip would work best, so I tried a few. I found that the Wilton 4 tip produced the best love. Just put it aside and the candy will harden at room temperature. Now for the cupcake. I'm going to start with the Wilton 104 tip with the red frosting. Pipe small petals all around the cupcake. Place the fat end of the tip onto the cupcake. Squeeze and do a teardrop motion. Turn the cupcake and repeat this all the way around. Don't hesitate to tighten your bag and clean your tip when needed. So I filled the bag with equal amounts of red, white, and pink frosting. I'm using a coupler with a Wilton 1M. We're going to do a simple swirl. Let's start in the center, squeeze, pull up, move to the side, and work your way around. When you come back to the beginning, move up and do a second swirl. Then stop piping and pull away. Now for the chocolate love. This one looks nice. So I'm going to peel it off and place it on the cupcake. Let me tell you, if your crush doesn't fall for you with this cupcake, they might just be a robot. For this last cupcake, we will do a nice marble effect. I've changed the piping tip on the coupler to a 1A. I still have red, white, and pink frosting in the bag, but it's quite low, so I just added a bit of leftover frosting to help squeeze it out. I'm going to do a simple blob. I'm placing the cupcake on the counter, and I'm going to hold the coupler to squeeze out the frosting. If you've reached the coupler, you can twist the bag and push the frosting out. Okay, that's definitely enough frosting. Let's turn this cupcake upside down onto the wax paper and push it down. As you can see, the frosting is bulging out. So to make it look like a marble slab, I'm going to cut away the excess frosting and smooth out the sides. Now this is going to go in the freezer for 10 minutes. Okay, it's out of the freezer, and there's our marble slab. I'm going to pipe a little white heart on top. As you can see, I added a bit of leftover pink to help push out the white frosting. And the heart's going to be made with a Wilton 4B. So basically, to make a heart, you have to pipe 2 shells in a V form. So there's the first shell. And let's do a second one. There we go. As an alternative, you can leave the edge rounded. You can also dip the edge in sprinkles, pink sugar, or whatever you like. So there you have it, lovebirds. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time, and happy baking!